Eddie G is getting to grips with the Mini Cooper GR.2 in this practice session. Tony Blue's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 2:22.906. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Sunoiler crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 2:11.180. They're getting to grips with 60's Princen Park, long, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Alright, Puppy Dog from Hell has put down a 2:10.593. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Fiat 128 Abarth GR2.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Sunoiler posted a 2:11.180 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Ever heard the pit crew chat about wheel camber? Sounds like a dance move, but trust me, it's all car talk.
Haha, yeah, camber is the angle of the wheel relative to the road. A bit of negative camber, where the top of the tire leans inwards, can give more grip in the corners. But too much and you're looking at premature wear on the inside of the tire. It's a balancing act, and each track requires its own setting.
Let's talk rubber. Tire pressures ain't just about pumping them up and hitting the road. It's like a fine art.
Couldn't have said it better. Tire pressures can dramatically impact the contact patch, the actual bit of tire touching the tarmac. Too high and you lose temperature and grip, too low, and you risk overheating, uneven wear, or even a blowout. Each tire will have its own sweet spot where they grip best.
There's the first flying lap for Puppy Dog from Hell, hitting 1:57.206. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Eddie G has a best lap time of 1:54.580. Puppy Dog from Hell posted 159.086 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 187 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Tony Blue's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 154.522. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
There goes Mr. Bang, on their first dance with 60's Princen Park Long. Every bend, every straight is a chance to learn, to adapt.
Yep, and it's about syncing with the car too, making sure everything's in harmony. It's like tuning an instrument before a big concert.
It's all about finding that sweet spot during these sessions. Like tuning a didgeridoo, but way faster.
Haha, and a lot noisier. But you're right. In Indy, we fine-tune until it feels just right. Every lap here is a step towards perfection.
You know, mate, watching these practice sessions, you'd think the driver just jumps in and goes. But there's a heck of a lot more to it. Starting with that aero package, the balance between drag and downforce.
Oh, for sure. You tweak the front wing just a smidge, and you could have a totally different beast on your hands. Depending on the track, they might want more downforce for those tight corners or reduce it for the long straights to maximize speed.
And there's Smells Like We, easing out onto 60's Princen Park Long. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this out lap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
Joe Yu is on their first practice flying lap. Smells Like We is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The out lap is like the opening chapter of a book. A euro sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at 1960's Princen Park, Long.
Megasaurus 55 is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Look at Mr. Bang taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Get ready for some high-octane action as the drivers take on the challenge of qualifying at 1960's Princen Park, Long.
The pressure is on to set the fastest lap times, and the tension in the air is palpable.
Mr. Bang is on their outlap. It's a dominant performance from Megasaurus 55 in this qualification session. They have shown exceptional form and are leading the way. Their confidence is shining through, and they are proving why they are considered one of the best in the business.
Spot on analysis, Rob. Megasaurus 55 is currently in a dominant position, setting the standard for their rivals. Their consistent and impressive performance is setting them up for a strong starting position.
Impressive display by Sunoiler, currently sitting in position 2. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position.
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Sunoiler's current position of second is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
Incredible performance by Megasaurus 55 so far. They have been the benchmark in this qualification session, consistently setting fast lap times and securing the top spot. It's a commanding position for them, and their rivals will be chasing their tail. Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. A strong showing from Sunoiler as they currently sit in second. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
You're spot on, Rob. Sunoiler's current position of second is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against
Sunoiler has completed their outlap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Mr. Bang has completed their outlap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. A dominant display by Sunoiler in this qualifying session. They have put in a stunning lap time and find themselves at the top of the leaderboard. The other drivers will have their work cut out to match their speed and claim that pole position.
You're spot on, Rob. Sunoiler is showcasing exceptional skill and consistency in this qualifying session. It's a formidable position they hold, and their rivals will need to step up their game to challenge them.
Sunoiler has completed their outlap. And there goes Smells Like We, currently in position 3. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. Smells Like We has completed their outlap. Currently in 7th, Mr. Bang has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. Mr. Bang has completed their outlap. A solid qualifying performance by Tony Blues, positioning them in 2nd at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners.
Absolutely, Rob. Tony Blues has put in a remarkable effort to secure 2nd. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
What a performance from Eddie G. They currently occupy 4th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable starting spot? Eddie G has completed their outlap. Tony Blues has secured a respectable 2nd in the qualifying session. Can they capitalise on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
You're absolutely right, Rob. Tony Blues' current position of second reflects their strong qualifying performance. Now, they'll need to strategize and capitalize on this starting position.
Tony Blues has just completed a lap in 1:55.627. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Smells Like We has completed their first flying lap in 3:52.928. Eddie G has positioned themselves well in third during qualifying. The challenge Eddie G has just completed that lap in 1:54.607. Their best lap so far is 1:54.607, putting them in P3. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? A solid performance from Mr. Bang as they currently hold position 7. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Mr. Bang has done a fantastic job to claim 7th. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Mr. Bang has completed their outlap. Smells Like We has put in a great effort and currently holds 4th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position? A strong showing from Tony Blues as they currently sit in second. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
Great analysis, Rob. Tony Blues has shown excellent pace to secure second. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
With Tony Blues now sitting pretty in second, they have got to be feeling good.
True, but in the world of racing, good isn't always good enough. They've got to keep their eye on the prize and aim for perfection on every turn. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Incredible drive by Megasaurus 55 so far, earning them 7th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up?
I completely agree, Rob. Megasaurus 55 has positioned themselves impressively in 7th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their start.
Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. Impressive display by Smells Like We, currently sitting in position 4. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. Smells Like We has just completed a lap in 2:09.885. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. Currently in second, Tony Blues has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
Absolutely, Rob. Tony Blues has...
There's a real buzz in the air as Tony Blues secures second.
Right you are, Rob. They've put themselves in a solid spot, but they can't let up now. Staying smooth and focused is key to shaving off those extra fractions.
And there goes Eddie G, currently in position 3. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. It's an impressive showing by Mr. Bang, currently in 6th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those? It's about time Mr. Bang considered a different approach. With a 2:13.059, they're stuck in 6th. Maybe a change in brake bias could give him more control in those hard braking zones.
That's a solid point, Rob. Better braking control means they can brake later and harder, making up precious time in the corners.
A solid qualifying performance by Megasaurus 55. Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. What a performance from Joe Yu. They currently occupy 5th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favorable starting spot? A solid performance from Smells Like We as they currently hold position 4. However, with the session coming to a close, it's a stellar performance from Smells Like We, clinching 4th.
They're in a great spot, Rob, but in qualifying, complacency can be your worst enemy. They need to keep pushing the limits while staying cool under pressure. Every fraction of a second counts. I am sure they can find a little extra in there.
Joe Yu has secured a respectable 5th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Jorg Yu's current position of 5th is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
A strong showing from Smells Like We as they currently sit in 4th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve. Looks like Smells Like We is making a statement, securing a spot in 4th.
Yep, Rob, but there's always room for improvement. Smooth, consistent laps might just be the key to climbing even higher before this session wraps up.
Joe Yu has positioned themselves well in 5th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
You're absolutely right, Rob. Jorg Yu's current position of 5th reflects their strong qualifying.
Joe Yu's really showing what they're made of, landing in 5th during this nail-biting session.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about precision and nerve in qualifying. Every millisecond can make a difference on the grid. Let's see if they can squeeze out even more speed.
It's a very still day here at 60's Princen Park, Long, as we're getting ready to kick things off. Tony Blues is on pole.
But they can't afford to get complacent. They will have a target on their back now.
Starting from the second position on the grid, we have Sunoiler.
Sunoiler is looking on for a strong result.
Smells Like We will look to make a splash from the third position on the starting grid. Lining up in fourth is Joerg Yu.
Big things expected for Jorg Yu today.
Coming in at fifth, we have Eddie G.
The American driver will be focused on a good result from here.
Mr. Bang has qualified sixth. Puppy Dog from Hell is lining up seventh.
Megasaurus 55 isn't going to make it easy to get through the pack.
Sitting in eighth is Megasaurus 55. Stone the crows, the lights are out, and the kangaroos finally jumped.
Gotta keep a cool head in this heated race. Quick thinking and a sharp eye. That's what it takes to shine.
The tension is palpable here. No one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap.
I for one am really excited, Rob. The rivalry between Tony Blues and Sunoiler has been building before the race, and this is where scores are settled.
There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is looking to get off to a good start. Now, isn't that a sight? Tony Blues hanging tight at one. Maybe they're waiting for everyone else to make their move. Smart as a whip, that one.
Like gladiators they enter Rob, but instead of lions and swords our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
Out of the gates, and Mr. Bang is already turning heads, gaining positions quicker than a blink of an eye. I think passing is going to be difficult today here at 60's Princen Park, Long, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on. This is going to be one hell of a race, I can already feel it. Blimey, smells like we shifted gears and the results are clear. Cruising up to third just like that. Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Eddie G is sniffing around Mr. Bang like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of fourth. The adrenaline is pumping as Mr. Bang gets within striking distance of Smells Like We in their race for third.
And it's not just about skill and talent. It's about who has the nerves of steel to handle the pressure and make the right decisions at the right time.
Oh, this is getting intense. Eddie G is just behind Mr. Bang. Hold up a mo. This is a disaster for Puppy Dog from Hell in the Fiat 128 Abarth GR2 coming into the pits and isn't going to do much to improve their chances in this race. Oh, the Puppy Dog from Hell is in trouble.
They're coming up fast on Megasaurus 55 and there's no way they're going to be able to slow down in time.
Looks like someone needs to tell Puppy Dog from Hell that this isn't a demolition derby. That kind of driving just won't cut it at this level.
Still using all the muscles, except the one that matters?
Struth, Tony Blues' chances are looking thinner than a roux on a diet. Only way forward might be a bit of razzle-dazzle or a slip up ahead.
Well, every dog has its day, and this race ain't over till it's over.
Hold that thought, hold the phone. Well, that was a proper Barbie flip by Tony Blues. Too much snagger, not enough bun.
Gee whiz, Tony Blues has lost direction faster than I lost my youth. Welcome to the club.
Oi, Eddie G is on Mr. Bang like a drop bear on an unsuspecting tourist.
Drop bear? Had to Google that one. But yeah, here it's like a linebacker on a quarterback sack. Now, ain't that something? Eddie's car is humming like a Sweet Carolina tune. He's looking to take Mr. Bang for a spin around the dance floor of 1960's Princen Park, long.
Fair dinkum. Eddie's finding those aerodynamic sweet spots. Could be adjusting that front wing angle to cut through the air like a hot knife through butter. Blimey, Megasaurus 55 is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster. It's a thrilling pursuit as Eddie G is right behind Mr. Bang, keeping the pressure on for third place. The track conditions are looking good here today. The drivers will be able to push the cars to the limit and it's going to make for some exciting racing. Like a scene from a thriller, Eddie's on Mr. Bang's tail, hungry for that spot. Fair dinkum, smells like we's got a blue trying to bridge the gap. Might be praying for a blue from the frontrunners at this rate.
That's tougher than a $2 steak right now. We've all seen storms roll in fast over the Carolina Pines. Just takes a gust of wind or a slip to change this whole race around.
Hold on a moment. Whoops. Eddie's taken more spins than a dead or alive record.
I swear, Eddie's acting like they found Elvis off track. Spoiler. The king ain't there.
Things don't seem to be going Eddie's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. Even though Eddie G is a fair way behind Tony Blues, they can't afford to let their guard down. Tony Blues is still vulnerable to mistakes. The gap between Tony Blues and Eddie G is getting smaller. It's now down to 1.8 seconds.
This is where the pressure really starts to mount on Tony Blues. They need to stay focused and not make any mistakes.
And we're back, where the drivers are showing us some incredible skills.
Indeed, Rob, it's always exciting to see these skilled machines on the tracks. I mean, drivers. I always get them confused.
Any bloke or Sheila saying Assetto Corsa Friends isn't top-notch is a few kangaroos short of the top paddock. Out there, it's art on wheels.
Totally get you. Like, they're born racers. That weaving, the speed, just mesmerizing. It's like watching a roux dodging a ute on a highway. All skill, mate, all skill. Couldn't agree more. Every lap is a story, and right now, Tony Blues' chapter from 4th is riveting.
Mate, smells like we's got a stretch ahead that's longer than the Nullarbor. Going to need more than a tinny to bridge that expanse.
It's like fishing without bait right now. They're not gonna catch much at this rate. Sunoiler might be leading the parade now, but remember, the dance ain't over till the last fiddle plays. Still plenty of racetrack left for surprises.
I tell you what, smells like we has got more problems than a maths book right now. Sunoiler is leaving them in a cloud of dust. The race is heating up as Joe Ergu in 6th closes in on Eddie G. The gap is just over. Incident alert. Just like my hope in finding the one. Joe Ergu's direction seems a bit lost right now.
If you're used trying to embody my self-esteem during puberty with that swerve, spot on. Just spot on.
Oh, the pressure is intense. These three drivers are displaying incredible skill and determination. It's like a high-speed chess match out there.
No doubt about it, Rob. The battle for that same piece of tarmac is intense. The sparks flying and the close quarters racing showcase the incredible skill and nerve of these drivers.
3 cars, 3 different lines. They're jockeying for position, looking for any opportunity to make a move. Eddie's so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind.
Oh, for sure. It's like watching a cooking show where Eddie G is trying to whip up a winning dish, but Tony Blues keeps hiding the main ingredient.
It looks like Eddie G is making a move. The gap to Tony Blues is now down to 1.4 seconds.
I've seen drivers fight G-forces, fatigue, and mental strain. But Eddie G is doing more than just enduring, they're thriving. Tony Blues better check that rearview mirror.
You know, Hal, I've always wondered, how do racing drivers stay so cool and collected under such immense pressure?
Well, Rob, it comes down to mental strength and training. Drivers often work with sports psychologists and practice techniques like meditation and visualization to help them stay calm and focused during high-pressure situations.
The gap between Eddie G in 5th and Tony Blues remains over a second, but Eddie G is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 10 minutes? Gee whiz, Tony Blues is breathing down Mr. Bang's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Mr. Bang's rearview mirror right now, it's getting crowded. It's looking good for Tony Blues, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Mr. Bang. You reckon these drivers do any off-track training? Maybe a bit of kangaroo boxing?
Haha, if they do, sign me up. But I think most stick to wrestling with the steering wheel.
Things are heating up as Eddie G tries to close the gap to Mr. Bang.
Woo-wee, there's more tension between Eddie G and Mr. Bang than there is at a shotgun wedding. Pass the popcorn and let's see where this love story goes.
Good news for Eddie G, the gap to Mr. Bang has decreased. It's now down to 0.4 seconds. Superb driving from Eddie G, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. Remember when Eddie G was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night.
Look, Eddie's pace is a lot like my dance moves. Good intentions, questionable.
Oh no, what's this? By the looks of it, Mr. Bang reckons 1960's Princen Park long had a hidden shortcut. Too bad there isn't one. You reckon Mr. Bang saw a spider in the cockpit? 'Cause they're running away from the front like it's Huntsman Central. Not just about the leaders today, right? Even the tailenders. They're like hungry dingo pups fighting over a bone. Love the spirit.
Spot on. Every second is gold, and even a hiccup, a tiny one, can make them tumble. AssettoCorsaFriends, where the magic happens. Although, between us, what's a hiccup for an AI? They say racing's a game of nerves, and smells like we's surely holding theirs, keeping that second spot warm.
The gap might be more than a second, but Eddie G is showing persistence. Kind of like me trying to open a pickle jar. Keep at it, and something's got to give.
Watching Eddie G right now is like reliving my high school track meets. A for effort, D for speed.
It's not coming up roses for Eddie G, they're trailing Tony Blues and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. As Megasaurus 55 trails Mr. Bang, it's a bit reminiscent of my cat chasing a laser point. Determined, but always just a tad behind.
Good lord, at this rate, Megasaurus 55's gonna finish this race in the afterlife. Hope they got good insurance.
Stone the crows. Megasaurus 55's off in the bush again. Someone get him a map and compass.
Seems like Megasaurus 55's off-roading it. You know, like my attempts to adult. All over the place.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Megasaurus 55, who is currently in P6. But Mr. Bang is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Megasaurus 55. The crowd is on their feet, roaring with excitement. It's an all-out war between these three drivers. Who will emerge victorious? Your guess is as good as mine.
You're absolutely right, Rob. The different strategies employed by these drivers add another layer of excitement. It's fascinating to see how they adapt their approach to gain a competitive edge.
In the midst of this high-octane spectacle, Tony Blues' skill is shining through as they claim third.
Absolutely, Rob. It's like watching a maestro at work. Every move Tony Blues makes is pure art.
He's pulling away. Tony Blues is increasing the gap to Eddie G. It looks like Eddie G needs to dig deep and find some courage to catch up. Will they be able to take the risk and push their car to the limit?
That's right, Rob. It's time for Eddie G to show us what they're made of. Will they be brave enough to go for it, or will they be content with just following in the footsteps of Tony Blues? Let's see who's got the guts to take the lead.
Everyone's on the edge of their seats. Or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Megasaurus 55 is getting closer to Mr. Bang, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel.
Dang, Megasaurus 55 is so far back, he might start seeing last week's race. But hey, in racing, as in love, persistence is key. Right, y'all?
Fantastic racing on show here today, and it's not just the top drivers who are impressing us. Even the drivers at the back of the pack are putting up a good fight, battling it out for every position.
It's a testament to the level of competition at AssettoCorsaFriends. Even the smallest mistake can cost you valuable seconds, or even lead to a crash. But these drivers are up to the challenge, and they're giving it their all. It's clear that AssettoCorsaFriends really is the place to be for top quality racing.
Watching Megasaurus 55 try to close that gap on Mr. Bang is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on foot. Hope they've got good shoes.
Well, butter me up and put me on a biscuit. Megasaurus 55's got a mountain to climb. But, knowing Megasaurus 55, that's just the kind of challenge they like. Like trying to square dance in a roundhouse.
Eddie G has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Tony Blues. I expect their only hope at this point is that Tony Blues makes an error.
Sometimes it's the tortoise that wins, not the hare. I've seen Eddie G come from behind more times than a fox in a henhouse.
Tony Blues isn't just racing, they're weaving a narrative, sitting proudly in third. The age-old challenge. Megasaurus 55 is trying to catch Mr. Bang, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Megasaurus 55 in 6th determined to catch up. But we know Mr. Bang isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Megasaurus 55 is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Remember when we thought Megasaurus 55 had peaked? Think again. They're harnessing every bit of downforce and it's making Mr. Bang's mirrors awfully busy.
This here's where the steel meets the pavement. Both drivers got to keep their cool if they're looking to take the checkered flag.
A solid performance from Sunoiler, who is holding down first.
You've nailed it. The track is a battleground, and Sunoiler's position is their fortress. Let's see how long they hold the fort.
Oh no, Hal, look at this. Smells like we is closing in on Sunoiler. The gap is now just 15.7 seconds.
Sunoiler's got their work cut out for them. They're gonna need to keep a cool head to fend off Smells Like We.
We've seen overtakes, close calls, and pure racing genius today. Currently, Tony Blues has carved out a spot at third.
Oh, spot on. With the way Tony Blues controls that third, you'd think they've got the track's blueprints.
Excellent work from Tony Blues, who has managed to increase their lead over Eddie G. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it. This race is proving to be, hold on a moment, crikey. Smells like we thought they were on a boomerang's flight path. Only problem? Didn't come back.
Well, slap my grandma. Smells Like We's gone off like they saw a ghost. Or maybe they just saw their last lap time.
You Americans have your drive-thrus. Here, Eddie's trying to make this a drive past on Smells Like We.
Well, let's see if they can supersize that pass, or if they'll just get a side of disappointment. It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Eddie G needs to stay patient and wait for Smells Like We to make a mistake.
Eddie G is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Smells Like We at the moment. With all these modern racing aids, I sometimes wonder, would the legends of the past, the real trailblazers of the sport, have had it easier or tougher today?
That's a debate for the ages, Rob. The tracks might have evolved, the cars definitely have, but the heart of racing? That's eternal.
It may seem like Eddie G is far behind, but Smells Like We can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Eddie G an opening to catch up. Smells like we couldn't hold back the tide. Eddie G is shaving off seconds like a barber on a busy morning.
It's gut check time for Smells Like We. They've got to dig deep and put some serious rubber to the road if they hope to stay ahead of Eddie G.
On the final lap now, and Sunoiler looks like they might just wrap up this win.
They're not leaving anything on the table.
And there it is. Sunoiler has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match.
You could feel the tension building throughout the race, but Sunoiler remained focused and in control. That's what separates the winners from the pack.
Joerg Yu in 7th. Tony Blues takes second place with a fantastic race. Well done to Smells Like We for securing third place on the podium.
Fantastic result.
In fourth, it's Eddie G. With Megasaurus 55 in sixth. Mr. Bang take fifth. It's a beautifully calm day here at 60's Princen Park, Long, as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The calm before the storm. I don't know about you, Rob, but I can't wait to see who comes out on top of this one.
Starting from pole position is the perfect place for Zhou Ergu to launch an attack. Taking off from the second grid slot is the skilled driver, Mr. Bang.
A strong grid position, and they'll be expecting a solid result today.
And in the third position, it's none other than Megasaurus 55. Starting just behind the front runners in fourth place is the determined driver, Eddie G. It smells like we, sitting comfortably in fifth. The sixth starting position belongs to Tony Blues, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
Another mid-pack start for Tony Blues.
As the engines roar to life, Puppy Dog from Hell prepares to take off from the seventh position on the starting grid. Starting from the 8th position, Sunoiler will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win.
Sunoiler is going to show us something special, I'm sure of it.
Chris Ilduke is 9th.
Expect some battling with Sunoiler.
Green means go, mates. As they scramble, gotta be wary of a big blue on the inside track.
It's all about keeping a level head and finding your groove. Like dancing to a country tune. One misstep and you're two-stepping right into trouble.
All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up. Blow me down. If Zhou Ergu were any slower off the mark, they'd be going backwards. Dropping from 1 to 4 in a jiffy, it's all gone pear-shaped.
I reckon Ergu's feeling like a fish out of water, trading that comfy 1 for a slippery 4. It's a curveball, like a tornado in January.
Tony Blues is tearing up the track, making up positions like they're going out of style. As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at AssettoCorsaFriends for making this all possible. Heroes one and all.
Let's hope they all brought their A games today.
Bit of a cruisy start for Zhou Ergu, just feeling out the track at 60's Princen Park Long. You know, like a dingo sussing out the lay of the land.
The race isn't won in the first turn, but there have been plenty that have ended there wrong.
It's brilliant to see such a full grid here today.
No rush, no fuss for Puppy Dog from Hell. In the South, we appreciate taking a moment to breathe, and that's just what they're doing at 7. We'll see how things spice up.
Things are heating up as Chris Ilduke closes in on Mr. Bang. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
It's a battle for position as Chris Ilduke tries to make a move on Mr. Bang. This is what racing is all about.
What do you think, Hal? Are there any specific factors that could lead to a driver losing concentration during a race?
There are several factors, Rob. Fatigue, stress, changing track conditions, or even issues within the team can all contribute to a lapse in concentration. It's essential for drivers to stay mentally resilient and adapt to these challenges.
You reckon Zhou Ergu's got a shot, mate?
I'd say it's like trying to throw a football into a moving pickup truck from 50 yards. Tough, but not impossible. There's a razor-thin line between glory and disaster, and both drivers are dancing right on it.
We are used to seeing some hard-fought but clean racing here at Assetto Corsa Friends. I'm expecting to see nothing different here today as this race unfolds. It looks like Puppy Dog from Hell is in control. They're ahead of Joe Ergue by over a second, and it doesn't look like they're going to be challenged anytime soon.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Ergue to make up that gap, especially with Puppy Dog from Hell defending so well.
Hold your breath, folks. These drivers are showing exceptional car control, threading the needle through tight corners. It's a battle for supremacy. At this stage of the race, Joe Ergue is holding on to third. Anything can happen from here.
Oh, for sure. But remember, the rearview mirror can be just as crucial as the windscreen. Ergue needs to watch out for those lurking in the shadows.
The gap between Tony Blues and Eddie G is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Tony Blues to bring Eddie G into play. Tony Blues is losing time to Eddie G like a leaky tap dripping water. A bit more slip, and we'll be in for a real dogfight.
Like a fox in the henhouse, Eddie G is causing all kinds of trouble for Tony Blues.
Buckle up. Joe Ergue is all over Puppy Dog from Hell like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action?
Remember that time Ergue made that audacious move on the last lap? Feels like deja vu, doesn't it, Rob?
Puppy Dog from Hell's got the tail tighter than a kangaroo in a hammock. If Joe Ergue is gonna make a pass, they'll have to buy them a drink first.
Some
breaking development. Bloody hell. Chris Ilduke just took a quick detour to the outback. Maybe they saw a kangaroo on the track or something. Eddie G is giving it their all as they chase down Tony Blues in P5.
I think they are going to take them.
Eddie's giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Tony Blues. It's like chasing a roo on a motorbike. Looks like Mr. Bang is chasing Joe Ergue harder than a croc chasing a tourist who's lost their thongs. It's a bit of a long shot, but we all remember that one time at the pub, right? Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Mr. Bang's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Joe Ergue. No room for error here. Eddie G is breathing down the neck of Tony Blues, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. Whoa there. Mr. Bang is sticking to Joe Ergue like glue. You reckon Joe Ergue's feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would.
Rob, last time I saw Mr. Bang this riled up, there were sparks flying off the track. Get ready for a showdown.
Hey, Eddie G, if Joe Ergue gets any closer, you might need to pop the question. Though last time I did that, she said, actually I can't tell you because of the court order. The action is non-stop as Mr. Bang shadows Tony Blues through every twist and turn, determined to claim third.
One wrong move.
Stop the press. Blimey. Joe Ergue's just thrown another shrimp on the barbie of mishaps. This one's burnt. They're giving it everything they've got. It's a battle of nerves as they push the limits of adhesion, going wheel to wheel in a thrilling display of racing prowess.
I'm on the edge of my seat, Rob. The door-to-door action is exhilarating. The brave
breaking update. Oh, mate. That's how I used to drive after a couple of bevies at the pub. Not the right line, but definitely entertaining.
Well, butter my biscuit, Mr. Bang just did the hokey pokey right in the middle of the race.
This is a thrilling battle as Eddie G edges closer to Tony Blues in their fight for P3. Mate, Eddie's creeping up on Tony Blues like a dingo on a picnic. Must have tweaked that brake bias a touch to the rear. Sometimes, I feel the strategy behind these races is deeper than a conversation at 3 a.m. in an outback pub.
You're telling me, it's like planning a family reunion in a small southern town. You've got to consider who's coming, who's feuding, and who's gonna cause a ruckus. Then prepare for it all to change in a heartbeat.
Look at Mr. Bang trying to close that gap on Joe Ergue, kind of like me trying to get close to a decent Barbie back home.
Barbie? Oh, you mean a barbecue. Yeah, but over here it's like trying to catch the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party. As we say in North Carolina, if the porch light's on, someone's home. And Mr. Bang's making it known. He's right there, waiting to make his move on your Ergue.
Mr. Bang just blitzed past Joe Ergue like they were standing still. It's a brilliant day for racing here at 1960's Princen Park. I'm really enjoying this.
This race is truly epic. What a treat to be sat here witnessing this spectacle.
Fair dinkum, I reckon Eddie's got that thirsty look in his eyes. Wants to share a cold one with Tony Blues in the front. Hang on to your cork hats, mates. We're about to see more jousting than a footy final between Eddie G and Tony Blues.
Now this is what we call real racing. It's anyone's race, wide open as a Carolina sky. Who's gonna step up and take us to victory lane?
Hal, can you share some strategies that drivers use to manage tire degradation during a race?
Certainly, Rob. Some strategies include adjusting the car's setup for better tire life.
Braking alert, mate, are they packing something extra down under? Eddie's just rocketed into third.
Absolutely. Eddie G is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
Tony Blues is placed third at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Eddie G, who is 1.6 seconds behind. Did you hear about the race car driver who got a parking ticket? He said it was fine with him.
Oh, that one's got some mileage.
Tell me, mate, ever tried doing a burnout in a ute? It's bloody bonza.
A ute? You guys and your funny names. That's just a pickup, right? Trust me, I've burnt more rubber than you've had shrimp on the Barbie.
The tension is building as Eddie G trails behind Tony Blues. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Tony Blues hold on, or will Eddie G be able to close them down?
Nail biting indeed. I've already chewed through half of mine. And while Eddie G is going for gold, I'll be going for a manicure.
The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Joe Ergue is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Megasaurus 55 to even allow Joe Ergue to get a look in. The gap between Joe Ergue and Megasaurus 55 is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun. Mate, I've always thought choosing a tire compound is a bit like choosing your favorite Aussie beer. Do you go for something robust that can last, or something that gives a quick hit but might wear out fast?
Haha. Well, I reckon it's more like our North Carolina barbecue sauces. Some like it sweet and long-lasting, others prefer that quick tangy kick. But I'll tell ya, getting it wrong is like biting into a pepper when you're expecting a blueberry.
Blimey, Chris Ilduke is farther back than my hairline. But, you know what they say about Aussies, never say die, unless it's a spider. Then just run.
Speaking of rhythm, have you heard Eddie's favorite song? Maybe Chris Ilduke can play it to distract them and close that gap. Just a thought.
Chrysil Duke's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Eddie G like a dingo after a roadrunner. Oh mate, Eddie's more out of place than a vegan at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. Time to throw another gear on the Barbie.
Well, shoot, if Eddie G was any more laid back, they'd be horizontal. Reckon they're daydreaming of those cheerleaders again?
The gap between Eddie G and Tony Blues is getting smaller. So, when you were racing, ever have to do the old nature call dash during a red flag?
Haha, you mean a pit stop for the driver and not the car? Once or twice, you learn to time your drinks, and hope for a long caution. Doesn't always work out though.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Eddie G trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Tony Blues. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Eddie G close in enough to mount a challenge? You know, Joe Yu reminds me of my dating life. Starts with promise, ends up tailing behind everyone else.
I agree, Jorg Yu is putting in the effort. Sort of like me at karaoke night, not sure about the results, but full points for enthusiasm.
I swear, Joe Yu's on the prowl, making that leap to 8th look as easy as a Sunday Arvo barbecue. It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. Incredible. Megasaurus 55 is caught in a fierce battle, with breathing down their neck 0.1 seconds away, and Joe Yu just ahead with a gap of 0.2 seconds. It's a test of their racing skills.
Couldn't agree more, Rob. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind create a dynamic situation for Megasaurus 55. They must carefully manage their position while being mindful of potential overtaking opportunities.
You know, Hal, as a former racing driver yourself, can you give us some insights into what goes through a driver's mind during these quieter moments in a race?
Sure, Rob. During these moments, drivers often take the—
Oh no, what's this? Looks like Eddie's playing in the dirt. Took me back to when I tried rallying in my mum's old sedan. Good times, expensive repairs. It's an intense battle for position as Megasaurus 55 tries to outmaneuver Joe Yu. This is edge of your seat racing.
Megasaurus 55 is so close to Jorg Yu that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
Wow, Mr. Bang is really pushing hard to catch up to Puppy Dog from Hell. There's blood in the water for 6th place. And Mr. Bang has just won the place from Puppy Dog from Hell.
You see, it's moments like these that separate the champs from the chumps. And Mr. Bang's looking every bit the champ today.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Oi! Puppy Dog from Hell has just whipped out a blinder of a lap. Faster than Mr. Bang. Bet that's gonna ruffle some feathers. With the asphalt burning beneath them, Eddie's strategy seems to be working, placing them in 4th.
And just like in any great drama, Eddie G is the lead actor right now, captivating us all from the 4th.
Hang on, has Eddie G just played their wild card? They're lounging at 5th now.
It's a nuanced game, isn't it? Eddie's position change might very well be a part of a broader strategy.
Hold on to your hats. Megasaurus 55 is gunning for Mr. Bang. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend? Stone the crows. Megasaurus 55's on fire, surging ahead like there's a free round at the pub waiting. Hello, 7th.
Did we just witness a gambit?
It seems Megasaurus 55 is recalibrating, now at 8th.
Well, change is the only constant. And in this dance, Megasaurus 55 is certainly keeping us on our toes with that position shift.
Blimey, Megasaurus 55's more eager to catch Mr. Bang than a bloke at the bar at last call. Hope he's got the stamina for this chase. Gee whiz, Joe Yu's getting some solid torque out of those corners. They must have figured out the perfect throttle control while trail braking.
He's waiting on that golden chance like a hound on a pork chop.
Blimey, Megasaurus 55's determination reminds me of a kangaroo in a hopping contest.
Well, over here in the States, it's more like a squirrel chasing down its last nut before winter. Either way, it's entertaining to watch.
It's as intense as a Barbie in Midsummer out there for Sunoiler. They've got their eyes on the prize and won't settle for second.
Exactly, Rob. It's like aiming for that home run in the bottom of the ninth. Swing for the fences and don't look back.
Well, butter my biscuit. Sunoiler is no slouch, mate. That lap time's gonna give Smells Like We some grey hairs.
Giddy up. Looks like Sunoiler's kicking the dust up. Smells like we better buckle up and respond.
Eddie G is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
You ever see a croc stalking its prey? That's the energy Sunoiler's bringing right now. Ready to strike when the moment's right.
Kinda reminds me of a linebacker waiting for that perfect moment to make a game-changing tackle. The anticipation is intense, and Sunoiler's not letting up.
Blimey, Sunoiler's cranking up the downforce, making every newton of force count. That gap's shrinking faster than my wallet at the pub.
Exactly what Sunoiler needed. They can't afford to lose any more ground to Smells Like We.
One thing I admire about AssettoCorsaFriends is the sense of community. It's not just about the competition. It's about coming together, sharing knowledge, and pushing the boundaries of the sport.
You nailed it. Every time they hit the track, it's a culmination of shared experiences.
Oh no, what's this? Bloody hell. Sunoiler's tearing up the tarmac and just snatched first. Makes you want to crack a cold one in celebration?
Dang, if Sunoiler keeps this up, we'll need to douse the track. Smokin' hot move to first.
This is where the true champions shine, and Smells Like We is certainly showing their class in the final sector. Boy, Sunoiler, might want to chuck AUEY. With Smells Like We that close, you'd think you owed them money. And between us, I know a bit about that.
It's like a good old North Carolina hoedown. Sunoiler's trying to lead, but Smells Like We's eager for a do-see-do.
And it's a checkered flag for Sunoiler, who crosses the finish line with a commanding victory. What a phenomenal performance, absolutely dominant today.
You can see the sheer determination on Sunoiler's face as they take the win. That's the mark of a true champion, folks.
A nail-biting finish, but Smells Like We claims second place. Megasaurus 55 end in ninth. Excellent focus from Tony Blues to secure a fantastic third place on the podium. Fourth is Chris Iljuk. Coming in fifth, we have Eddie G. Puppy Dog from Hell brings home sixth. Taking seventh is Mr. Bang. Joe Yu in eighth. The anticipation is high as the drivers line up for the qualifying session at 60's Princen Park, Long.
Let's see who's got the speed and the skills to take the pole position.
You've joined us on a breezy day here at 60's Princen Park, Long, as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
Megasaurus 55 will be feeling confident starting from pole position.
But they can't let their guard down. The other drivers will be gunning for them.
Chris Ilduke will begin the race from the second spot on the starting grid.
They are in a good place to mount a good challenge come the first corner.
The third place on the grid belongs to Joerg Yu, a driver with plenty of experience.
Jorg Yu will be taking no prisoners today.
Sitting in fourth, it's Eddie G. In the fifth position, we have Puppy Dog from Hell ready to tackle the race ahead. From the middle of the pack, we have Smells Like We in sixth place on the starting grid.
But they're going to have to time their moves just right if they want to come out on top.
flags up, and it's a proper stoush on the tarmac. The opener's always a nail-biter, with every larrikin trying to grab a slice of the pie early on.
These opening strides? Well, they're like the first notes of a country ballad. Set the tone right, and the crowd will be singing your praises. Get it wrong, and, well, it's a tough act to follow.
Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position?
I'm looking forward to this one, Rob, and we'll see a return to form for Megasaurus 55 in this outing in Germany.
The racing is normally closely fought here at 60's Princen Park. Long, I think we are in for a cracking race.
Like we say in North Carolina, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe Puppy Dog from Hell is keeping their pace steady for now, waiting for the right time to make a splash.
Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here.
It's always intense racing here at 60's Princen Park. Long hold on to your hats, folks.
You know, they say, steady as she goes, and that's exactly what Puppy Dog from Hell's doing. Holding on to 5, maybe they've got a trick or two up their sleeve for later.
I am so excited at the prospects for this race. I can't wait to see the drama unfold.
The drivers are jockeying for position. Puppy Dog from Hell will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position. This is edge of the seat stuff. Eddie G is relentlessly hunting down Joe Erg, who'll blink first.
It's a dance of titans, a symphony of engines, and Eddie's tempo is rising.
Quiet, steady, reliable. That's Eddie's game today. No drama, just some good old-fashioned racing.
Exactly, it's like playing chess at 200 miles per hour. Eddie G is thinking several moves ahead, and it might just pay off.
The drivers have been working hard to come up with the perfect race strategy. They've been looking at the weather, the track conditions, and the performance of their cars.
Now it's time to put that strategy into action and see if it pays off.
The gap between Puppy Dog from Hell and Chris Ilduke is razor thin as they vie for third in this nail-biting contest. The gap between Puppy Dog from Hell and Chris Ilduke is expanding faster than a bull's waistline. It's now a whopping 0.6 seconds. Tough break for Puppy Dog from Hell, who has just lost a position.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Puppy Dog from Hell needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
Hold on to your seats. Eddie's turning the heat up on Joe Erg, closing in for the kill. A great moment for Eddie G, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. Oi! Eddie's chassis balance is on point today. They're handling bumps and curbs smoother than a croc sliding into water. Joe Erg's got a battle ahead.
Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit. Eddie's using that draft from Yorgu real effectively, shaving off tenths every lap.
Chris Ilduke is running 5th. They are trying to catch Megasaurus 55.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Chris Ilduke should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Megasaurus 55.
It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Chris Ilduke and Megasaurus 55.
With every lap, I can see Chris Ilduke making micro adjustments on that steering wheel, refining traction control. They're itching to show Megasaurus 55 their taillights.
As the laps tick by, Joe Erg finds themselves in 3rd. Every moment counts.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
Joe Yu's lead is shrinking faster than ice cream in the outback sun. At this rate, Chris Duke will be on their tail in 1.1 seconds.
This is a real test for Jorg Yu. They need to find some extra pace and hold off Chris Duck if they want to win this race.
Hold on a second, blimey. Puppy Dog from Hell veered off the track like I veer away from commitment. Maybe they'll come back, unlike my ex.
Well, shoot, Puppy Dog from Hell's channeling me trying to park in the city. A complete disaster, but always a show.
There's a storm brewing, and it's got Smells Like We's name on it. Eddie G, batten down the hatches, it's coming for you.
In the theater of speed, this is the climax. Every move is a headline, every overtake a potential plot twist.
Smells Like We is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Eddie G to 0.4 second. Hold up a mo. Maybe Megasaurus 55's got a drop bear in the cockpit, cause that move was bonkers. Puppy Dog from Hell is on a mission, chasing Chris Duke, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
This isn't just racing, it's art in motion. And Puppy Dog from Hell is painting a masterpiece in pursuit.
Ladies and gents, breaking development. Well, if it isn't Smells Like We, the wild wallaby of the track, hopping right off the tarmac. Good on ya, Puppy Dog from Hell. Not letting Chris Duke get too comfy up front. Reckon he's planning a bit of a "g'day mate" on the next corner? The gap between Puppy Dog from Hell and Chris Duke is growing. It's now up to 1.1 seconds. You reckon Chris Duke's rear view is just filled with Puppy Dog from Hell now?
Oh, without a doubt. That's a sight no driver wants in their mirrors.
Chris Duke is giving a masterclass out there, but will overconfidence be their downfall?
Indeed, Rob, pride comes before a fall. Let's see if Puppy Dog from Hell can capitalize on any mistake.
You know, the way these racers manage their fuel is an art in itself. Reminds me of when I'm trying to eke out the last bit of sauce from a Vegemite jar.
Vegemite again? Man, I'd rather run on empty. But yeah, getting that fuel strategy right is like pacing yourself at a southern buffet. Go too hard too fast, and you won't make it to the pecan pie.
Every gear shift, every pedal push, Smells Like We's got one goal in mind, capturing Eddie's spot.
Smells like We's got that car dialed in tighter than my grandma's corset. If Eddie G isn't careful, he's gonna get a taste of some good old American hustle.
Stone the crows. Smells Like We's managed to trim that gap with Eddie G, eh? Must be the slipstream effect on this straight. Or maybe they've put down that beer.
This is where the pressure really starts to build. Both drivers will need to stay calm and focused if they want to come out on top.
Phew, talk about foreplay. Puppy Dog from Hell and Chris Duke are really teasing us here. I haven't seen this much anticipation since my first date. Stone the crows. Puppy Dog from Hell's pulled a sneaky, landing at 5th. Always a surprise with them.
Well, butter my biscuit. A bit of a hiccup for Puppy Dog from Hell, but they've got the grit to climb back up.
Breaking alert. Oh dear, Chris Duke has had an incident.
Dang, Chris Duck went off like my sense of self-worth after my high school reunion. And just as hard to recover.
Look at that. Joe Yu is hot on the tail of Smells Like We. hold up a mo. Well, Joe Hughes decided to give the local wildlife a closer look. I hope the drop bears didn't get to them. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Chris Duke's inching ever closer to Megasaurus 55. Ripper of a move. Chris Duke's not just in the race, they're owning it. G'day, fifth. If I had $1 for every time Smells Like We closed a gap like this, I'd have enough for a pint at the local. Get ready, Chris Duke, the thunder from down under is coming.
The gap between them is now just over 0.4 seconds. Who will come out on top?
Crikey, Puppy Dog from Hell's moving up faster than a cold one disappears on a hot day. They've clinched second.
I tell ya, Puppy Dog from Hell's hotter than a peppered pickle right now. Bold and spicy, claiming second like a champ.
A twist in our tale. Puppy Dog from Hell slipping more than a bar of soap in a bath, now at third. Looks like Megasaurus 55's car has turned into a mobile, no vacancy sign, and Smells Like We is looking for a room. You won't find cheap rent here, mate.
It's like watching a classic game of cat and mouse. Only this mouse, Megasaurus 55, has some serious horsepower. Smells like we better find some cheese and lure them out.
The intensity is off the charts as Puppy Dog from Hell hounds Megasaurus 55, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. I reckon they've had a few secret lessons down under. Puppy Dog from Hell's just breezed into fourth.
Man, if racing was a barbecue, Puppy Dog from Hell just threw down the spiciest ribs. Up to fourth and sizzling.
Cricky. Smells Like We sticking to Puppy Dog from Hell like Vegemite on toast. This is more tense than a possum in headlights. Eddie G seems to be putting the pressure on Joe Hughes. Someone should tell Joe Hughes this ain't a Sunday drive. Eddie's tearing up the track.
Yes, but Eddie G can't rest on their laurels. They have to keep pushing to consolidate their position.
Wow, it's a close race for second. Joe Hughes is ahead with Chris Duke right on their tail with a gap of only 0.1 seconds. And Joe Hughes has just lost the place to Chris Duke. It's a game of inches now as Puppy Dog from Hell tails Joe Hughes closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
This battle between Puppy Dog from Hell and your Hughes is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
It's a close race between Joe Hughes and Puppy Dog from Hell in third. It's a dynamic landscape out there. Joe Hughes' shift to fifth is testament to that. With a move that's swift, I'd say Joe Hughes running on high octane, and maybe a bit of Aussie spirit.
Well, butter my biscuit. Your Hughes burning rubber and climbing up to fourth.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Smells Like We will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gaps hold up a mo. Struth. Eddie's having a real dog's breakfast of a moment. Tell ya what, Smells Like We's trailing harder than my belt after Christmas dinner. Reckon he's got a plan up his sleeve, or is he just here for the sausage sizzle?
Indeed, the tension is palpable as Smells Like We tries to reel in Chris Duke. But Chris Duke is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Smells Like We find some extra pace to bring the fight to Chris Duke?
Tire degradation's a right pain in the ass, but Smells Like We's handling it like a champ. Getting real up close and personal with Chris Duke, aren't they? In a world where milliseconds matter, Eddie's grasp on the third speaks volumes. Puppy Dog from Hell is in there like a rat up a drain pipe. Eddie G is not going to be happy about that.
Absolutely. They need to rethink their approach and come up with something new, or they risk losing even more ground. On the other hand, Puppy Dog from Hell has been making some impressive moves and looks like a serious contender.
You ever wonder, Rob, how much preparation goes into each race weekend? It's not just about the driver, but the hundreds behind the scenes, making every little detail count.
Oh, absolutely. The hours spent in the simulator, the mechanics working overnight on those tweaks. Racing is as much about team spirit and dedication as it is about speed on the track. It's a collective masterpiece.
With every twist and turn, Eddie G is shadowing Puppy Dog from Hell, waiting to pounce like a lion on the hunt. Bloody oath, Eddie G is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to Puppy Dog from Hell down to a scant 0.7 seconds.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
Smells like we is locked in, mate. It's like watching a kangaroo chasing down that last bit of green in the outback. Every move is calculated, every turn precise.
You said it, Rob. Over here, it'd be like a quarterback eyeing that end zone in the final seconds. Smells like we is hungry for that top spot, and you can feel it.
A brilliant maneuver from Smells Like We, who has just moved up the field.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
Oof, if Eddie G was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step.
Yeehaw. It's like Eddie G took a detour through the drive-thru. With a gap that big, I hope they ordered extra determination with a side of grit.
Fair dinkum, Eddie G is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Puppy Dog from Hell is now down to a whisker at 1.0 seconds. In a race where seconds count, Megasaurus 55 is counting on less of them between themselves and Eddie G. Much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime. It's looking good for Smells Like We, sitting in first. Reminds me of two wombats fighting for the best burrow. Close, intense, and unpredictable.
Oh, this is gripping. With every lap, Chris Il-Duke's drawing closer to that lead spot. They're both battling tire to tire.
If I were the leader, I'd be checking my mirrors every blink of an eye. The battle for two is heating up as Puppy Dog from Hell tries to catch Chris Il-Duke in P2. Puppy Dog from Hell's been working the tire temps, and it's paying off. Grip's better than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Watch out, Chris Il-Duke. This is like the state of origin for Chris Il-Duke, going full tilt, gunning for the top, and not holding back.
And on my end, it's the Super Bowl vibes all over. Inches away from glory, and every move counts. Hold on to your hats, folks, this is racing at its finest.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. Blimey, Eddie's shifted gears and the results are clear. Cruising up to fourth just like that. Megasaurus 55 wants to close that gap with Eddie G. It's like David versus Goliath out there. Puppy Dog from Hell just slung a stone and gained ground, while Chris Il-Duke is left searching for footing. Well, it looks like we have a bit of a traffic jam on the track.
It's like rush hour out there. I mean, I know we're in a race, but can't we all just get along?
Haha, I don't think that's how it works. These drivers are here to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead.
I guess you're right, but wouldn't it be great if they all just stopped for a cup of tea and a chat? We could have a lovely little race reunion.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Joe Yu is right on the heels of Megasaurus 55, and we're in for a wild ride. Talk about pressure. Joe Yu is caught in the middle, feeling the heat from both and Megasaurus 55.
You're right on the money, Rob. Yorg Yu is caught between two determined rivals, and the gaps to the cars ahead and behind add an extra layer of complexity. It's a delicate balance between defense and seeking opportunities.
As we come into the final moments of this epic race, Smells Like We is in the lead. Can they stay calm and bring home the bacon? The leader has just finished the race. A fantastic result for Smells Like We.
What a result for Smells Like We. They'll be absolutely thrilled with that performance, and rightly so. They really put in the work and it's paid off in spades.
Impressive second place finish for Puppy Dog from Hell. What a race from Eddie G, showing their skill and determination for a great third place finish.
Impressive driving to secure that spot.
Finishing fourth and fifth is Joe Yu and Chris Iljuk.